Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video of Nick's Bros Ramness. I am Nick's Bros Ramness, and you can tell that I'm recording this early because my sinus is all fucking awful right now. But as you can see by the title of this video, and well, if you're a wrestling fan, you know what day is today. Even if you aren't a wrestling fan, you still know what day today is. Wrestlemania. It's gonna be a good one. I do have the match cards written out for both nights. I still need to watch SmackDown from last night. It's on Hulu. I'm watching Family Guy now, but I don't know when it'll come on. Like, it just comes on, or they'll show last week's episode on the week of. Yeah. So I don't know how that works out, or how that plays out. Which sucks because I want to see the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I have so far stayed off of like Facebook and Instagram. And well, so far YouTube. I mean, yes, I am uploading this video. I'll find out a way to not see the winner. Something will come up like, oh yeah, like whatever. But yeah, so as you know, if you're new to this channel, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, let me know who you think is going to win the big title match at Mania. Oh, fuck, I forgot to... Oh, no, never mind. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I was going to say, hey, this is your WrestleMania predictions, but I'm going to do that later. This is my top 10. I don't bloody fucking know. Yeah, let's just get on into it with my top 10 WrestleMania matches. So guys, WrestleMania is my favorite pay-per-view of all time. No doubt about it. I have watched WrestleMania ever since WrestleMania 22 back in 2006. While yes, it was only a few months old, I still count that as my first ever WrestleMania, and I have never missed a WrestleMania since. WrestleMania 38 will be my 17th WrestleMania in a row. So I've watched each and every single one of them. I still have yet to attend one live, of course, because God knows how much WrestleMania tickets are, and everything going up in price. God knows how much they will be. So one of the things I love is the promo packages, and of course, the main thing that I think everyone loves about WrestleMania, the matches, of course. Well, today I already have the WrestleMania match card written out, actually. But right before I go on to that, I am going to be sharing with you my top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches. Yeah, so this is just my personal list. This isn't my list. This is not the right list, because some people will say, hey, why do you have this matchup so low, or this matchup so high, or how the fuck did you have this matchup in your top 10s? Or, like, for one of my honorable mentions, someone might go, oh, hey, how did just make honorable mentions? Well, I'm just going to start us off right now. First off, with the honorable mentions, the thing that I'm talking about is Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21. This nearly made my top 10 list. Nearly. It was number 11. That's why I added it on. No matter what matchup was number 11, I would have added it on. Because it was nearly made it. And I mean, it was a great match. I watched it on YouTube, and I loved watching it. Just surprise kick out. Kurt Angle slamming the back of course he's gonna angle slam the back of Shawn Michaels. What the fuck am I talking about? But angle slamming Shawn Michaels into the steel ring post, and then he decided to walk on the back after that. That was smart. And yeah, I mean, it was just a great match. I honestly thought Michaels was gonna win it, but I was wrong. Angle won it, and then I went, oh no shit, really? So I was shocked, which is why that was up there for the shock factor for me. And because those two men just did amazing, and I mean, it was also Raw versus SmackDown, so back then it was big, and I had to put my mindset there. So, and I loved watching it. It was great from beginning to end. It was phenomenal. It nearly made my top 10 list, though. My second honorable mention is The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. Also, if you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because I have notebook. Yeah. If you, once again, if you're new, I write this shit down on a notebook, and well, yeah, I write down like my top tens or whatever on notebook. Anyways, so Boneyard match. Here's why it's on my honorable mentions. It's my all-time favorite wrestling match. Why isn't it your number one? Some people don't count the cinematic matches as regular matches because they're cinematic matches and they aren't like your regular 1, 2, 3 or kick out or count out, the Q. You name it, it's not that. It's literally, I mean, some cinematic matches are, but still, though, some people might go, I really don't count this as this is just a cinematic match. I mean, look at the Firefly Funhouse match. That wasn't even a fucking match. I hate the Firefly Funhouse match. You are not going to see that on my top 10 list. I thought it was stupid. I mean, the only good thing about it was the whole John Cena Fears thing, but that was it. But the Boneyard match, on the other hand, Jesus Christ, I will probably go back and watch that a million more times. I just loved it. From Undertaker turning into Chuck Norris and fighting off his fucking druids, the American Badass returning, with Metallica heading down to the ring, which I thought was awesome. The final shot with his fist raised up in the air with the flames of his T-cross thing. I thought that was just great. Sorry, my hand is itchy. Like, it's everything about that was phenomenal, and I mean, AJ Styles was great in it as well. I love the build up to it, the whole Mark Calloway, Alan Jones thing. And I mean, last night, speaking of Mark Calloway, shout out to The Undertaker or Mark Calloway being into the Hall of Fame, because damn, that was great. Like, go, if you haven't seen the Hall of Fame, go watch on Peacock. I loved it, especially The Undertaker. And I will say this right now. If it was any other man heading into the Hall of Fame, I would have not stayed up past 12:30 in the morning to watch it. I will say it right now. The Undertaker's my favorite, so you'll probably see him multiple times on this list. Actually, not as many times as I thought he was going to be on. He was on this list like 3 times, maybe. Technically 4 with honorable mentions, but anyways, other than that, it was just great cinematography. Undertaker smashing his hand through glass and just going, son of a bitch. Like, if you have not watched the Boneyard match, go watch the Boneyard match. It's my favorite. You are definitely missing out. It's great. It's just so many great things about it. But his final tombstone power driver ever was to Carl Anderson. Weird one, but I guess I'll allow it. But yeah, I mean, it was a great match. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Phenomenal match. Anyways, let's get to my top 10s. So, speaking of Undertaker, at number 10, The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 30. You guys are probably thinking, oh, he has this because of the streak. Yes, that is one of the reasons. But I mean, I thought it was a pretty good match as well, and I went back and I rewatched it, and I had the mindset of when I was like about 8 at that time. Yeah, I was 8 about that time, 8.5 whenever that match happened. And I went back and rewatched it, and I had the mindset of when I was 8 with him being undefeated. Even though I knew it was going to happen, I was still shocked by the outcome. I was still like, dude, he just fucking lost at Mania. Like, no other match has made me feel like I just witnessed something I thought never happened, like, about twice. Never. Never, ever. I watch this match here and there. I forget that it's pretty good. I mean, besides from the whole concussion thing, you could tell where it happened. But other than that, though, I mean, it was a pretty good match. 3 F5s. Taker kicked out of 2 of them. The Tombstone Power Driver. Brock shockingly kicked out of it when I thought, yes, like, it's going to be 22-0. Lesnar kicked out. But, I mean, it was a great match nonetheless. Taker was in control for a good bit of it. I mean, Suplex City. But I mean, once the streak was broken, it was even after the matchup that made a lot of people feel, wow. Like, no one said a thing. I still remember being 8.5 years old, sitting down inside my living room, not saying a word after that happened. And then the main event came, and then I was like, okay, I'm like, let's just hope Brian wins, which he did. But I was just shocked. Like, sorry for the yawn. It's literally 7:53 in the morning. Like, it's super fucking early. 7:54 now. Whatever. But I was just shocked. And I literally stayed up crying that night whenever he lost. Like when I say this man is my favorite, I mean this man is my favorite. So looking back on it when I was 8, and once again having that exact feeling that I had, no match has ever done it. That's why it is in my top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches. Um, at number 9 we have Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 33. Once again, another Brock Lesnar match is 2 in a row. We might see him 1, 2 other times. I legitimately don't know. But Goldberg, I think this is the only time I have a Goldberg match. Yeah, this is the only time I have a Goldberg match. Okay. At least it's him and Lesnar at Mania 33. I guess that's okay. Sure. But I mean, it was a fun match. I enjoy it. Since WrestleMania 33, I think I've watched it at least once a year, maybe. I'm not sure. But around WrestleMania season, I enjoy watching that match. That one's fun to watch. I mean, with, like, 2 or 3 Germans, and then the spear happened, like, I was even like, holy shit. Like, that was out of nowhere. Spear through the barricade. That was huge. The leapfrog over Goldberg into the ropes. We got 10 German suplexes. Jackhammer. Lesnar kicked out. Lesnar was gonna go for an F5. Spear, no. Like, it was just a great match. We got one F5, 1, 2, 3, new Universal Champion. Like it was amazing. Like even Paul's Heyman reaction to like when Goldberg hit the jackhammer, he was like, "Oh no, like this is what's gonna happen again." And then Lesnar kicked out, and then you could just be like you can see him shocked because Paul Heyman sells very well. He has been selling very well reactions ever since when he was the GM or the owner, whatever he was for ECW. So I think it was just general manager, but ever since the ECW days, that's what he was. That's just been how great he was with reactions and stuff. And not only that, but he helps this matchup a lot as well. But once again, it's just really fun to watch. If you haven't seen that, and go watch it. It's great, and you will have fun enjoying it. I know I do all the time. At number 8, we have HBK, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24 in a career-threatening match. Man, no matter what would have happened, no, that's a lie. If Ric Flair lost, his career would have been over. That's why it was career-threatening, because that year, actually, in 2008, he went into the Hall of Fame because of this match. And the whole, like, literally, I think it was the final Raw that made people go, oh shit, they aren't playing games, where Shawn Michaels was pointing like a fake gun to his head, and he was like, "I'm gonna put you down like old yellow," and then it was like, "Oh shit!" Like this matchup's gonna be good, and it was. I went back and I watched all these matches. Some of them I haven't seen my Michaels versus HBK match from this year. Oh fuck! I'm not gonna say which WrestleMania it was. But one of the WrestleManias, you guys probably already know what it is. But one of the WrestleManias, I watch every year for their match because it's gonna be my number one. Um, fuck me, I just gave that away. But yeah, but no, but Shawn Michaels is gonna appear like 3 times on this list. So, um, well, technically 4 with the honorable mentions. Anyways, so just this matchup was great with some chops. Flair putting the figure four leg lock in twice, thinking, oh yeah, like Shawn's gonna tap, which I thought Shawn was gonna tap. Like I knew Shawn Michaels won, but just sitting there and I'm like, dude, I'm like he's gonna tap. And then he pulled it, and then he pulled it over, and then put all the pressure applying on Flair. I mean, that moonsault into the announce table was big. It was just fun matchup to watch. I think he hit like 2 or 3 switching musics in this match to send off Ric Flair, because Flair was even like, yeah, like come on. And then you just see Shawn Michaels go, I'm sorry, I love you. Boom, switching music. 1, 2, 3, it's over. And it's like, oh wow, like Ric Flair just lost. But even after the matchup, everyone was chanting like, "Thank you, Flair," and then clapping and whatnot, and just applauding him in general. So yeah, I mean Ric Flair. I mean, I think Shawn Michaels even did put a figure four leg lock of his own in, and then Flair he grabbed a turnbuckle and he ripped its thing, and then he just did like a thumb to the eye to Michaels, and then knee chop, leg block, whatever fuck it's called. I forget, which is weird because I'm normally good with naming wrestling moves. But the chop block into the leg, and then of course the low blow, like yeah, like it was just a great match. If you're a Ric Flair fan, you've probably seen it. If you're getting into wrestling and you've watched some Ric Flair stuff, this is one you're gonna go check out. But if you haven't, go and see it. But I don't know who hasn't seen it yet, truthfully, unless if you're not a wrestling fan. At number 7, we have The Rock versus John Cena for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29. Man, like, it felt like whenever I was watching this live, I was like, dude, I felt good for John Cena beating Rock, because that's why I had to win at WrestleMania 28, and he lost. I was just like, oh, like, son of a bitch, because I was in that whole John Cena phase, you know? Trust me, you should know what I'm talking about. Everyone who's watched wrestling and has watched John Cena, they have been there. I just so happened to be one of them right before I went full on Undertaker into that. So that match, it was pretty fun to watch though. I mean, Cena delivering rock bottom, Rock kicks out. They each kicked out of each other's finishers. Once again, The Rock kicked out of the rock bottom. Cena did another AA. I think he did like 2 AAs to The Rock. So yeah. And that's what ended it to make Cena become new WWE champion. I love how Cena was gonna do the leg drop from the top rope, and then Rock moved out of the way, and then Cena just landed on the mat, being like, Rock. So that was like Rock being like, yeah, like I fought you before. I know what you're gonna do. I'm not gonna get myself into this situation again, because God knows if I lose, and that is true. Rock broke the STF in that, which I don't believe has been. They said that hasn't been done. I don't know. I might have to do research on that some more, but I don't think it's been done. I don't think so. I might be wrong, but Rock broke out of the STF, which was huge. Like, and everyone popped for that. And I mean, it was like near fall after near fall. Rock being good old Rock. People's elbow. I mean, this matchup was just great. Massive clothesline by Cena. Like, this matchup was just wonderful. I mean, Rock was it was just great. I mean, yeah. Um yeah, it's just a feel good moment, especially for the backstory and whatnot, leading into the matchup here at Mania. So it was just great, no doubt about it. One of my favorite WrestleMania matches to go back and watch. Um, Next up, speaking of the WWE Championship, we have Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 19. This should be the last. This is the last Lesnar match. Awesome. Um, so this matchup was great. This was literally in 2003, so Suplex City wasn't a thing yet, but Lesnar did hit, I think, like 2 belly to bellies, which were huge and which was pretty big. I mean, Angle delivered like shit, like 6 or 7 Germans to Lesnar and maybe like 1 or 2 belly to bellies. I don't remember what the suplexes, but I do remember the 4 in a row that he hit. Um, and then once he got like the ankle lock in, it was like, dude, it's like it's got to be over. But Lesnar made it to the ropes, so it was like, oh man, like this matchup isn't gonna end. I mean, and once again, it took 3 F5s. You had the first F5, Angle kicked out, and the first time I watched it, I was shocked. And I watched it, that's one of the matches I watch here and there, like a good amount of the time, and I enjoy it, like all the time. And then I'm even like, wow, like, they kicked out. Like, I mean, Angle kicked out. That was a shocker. Um, so, and then Lesnar hit the second F5. Okay, it's over. And then he was going to hit the shooting star press, but he missed it, but they saved it with an Angle rolled out of the way because you could see him rolling out of the way and then taking the pin and then pinning Lesnar straight afterwards. And I think you could even, like, while Angle's picking up Brock after that, I think you could kind of tell when Angle's like Brock is like either Brock or Angle are like, fuck, that was the end of the match. Figure something out, and then Brock's like, F5, and then Angle's probably like, okay, or Angle was like F5, and Brock's like, okay, I don't know the thing behind that, but kick to midsection, third F5, 1, 2, 3, new Universal Champion. Not new Universal Champion, new WWE Champion. And that was a big part of it, too, for the WWE Championship. Like, that's what these men were fighting for, and they put on one hell of a clinic for the WWE Championship. There was no doubt about it. No doubt. So, yeah, like, I personally enjoyed that match. I mean, especially when Lesnar threw Angle out of the ring with that big throw over. Like, I was impressed the first time around. I'm like, wow, like, he got some height on that one. So, but I mean, just Lesnar has always been, no pun intended, a beast whenever it comes to being an in-ring performer. Like, he was always a big guy and to do the things that he did, especially in OVW. It was insane. I just want to imagine what it was like with when he had Suplex City going on back then. That would have been fun. But honestly, looking back on it, this is probably one of my favorite Brock Lesnar matches. So, yeah. And this is probably one of my favorite Kurt Angle matches. I might be wrong. I haven't seen every Kurt Angle match, but I've seen a good amount of them to go, yeah, this might be my favorite. And who knows? I mean, I've seen enough, right? Yeah, break time because we're heading into the top 5. But yeah, so like, I haven't seen too many I've seen a lot of WrestleMania matches, but I forget a good amount of them. Like, unless if I like write them down, sign my notes. Which, side note, if you're wondering how I got, so I'm just trying to fix the glare on this. I don't know. The sun's like super fucking bright right now at 8 o'clock in the morning. Jesus bloody hell, 8:07, whatever. But if you're wondering why and why I have these matches down in this specific order, or how I know to write these down and like what order they go in, this is just top of my head. Actually, in my phone, in my notes, what I am doing in real life is I'm going through and I'm ranking wrestling matches. Yes, you heard me right. I am ranking wrestling matches. I'm seeing which one I like more. I'm trying to see all of them, be like, will this be my new favorite, or will this not be my new favorite? Or like, where does this matchup go? Like, does this matchup go above this one or below that one? Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. What was the build up to it? And even the build up, I really don't pay too much attention for. Some of the matches, yeah, I guess. I mean, look at Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks at AEW Revolution 2020 for the tag team championships. There was like even the real life stuff, like they were all best friends in real life. Like that's like I think my fourth favorite match ever, which I'm probably gonna do in my top 10 wrestling matches in the future. But with like over 160 matches right now, with me being while watching that, yeah, you could just know. Like, if I ranked all the WrestleMania matches I've watched on my list from worst to best, you'll be surprised with some of the ones that I haven't watched or gone to yet. But that's literally how it is. I just went from number one. I literally, at the top of my page, I have number 10, and it went down to number one to figuring out, like, who goes where. Honorable mentions, the two matches there, like, well, was number 11 for the second honorable mention. This is a Mac matchup. Some people don't count this. Like, I just go through and whatever, all that. I just go from the top of my list and whatever said, like, this person versus this person at WrestleMania. I just put it down in that spot. And I went from number one the whole way up to 10 by going down the list in my phone. So, yeah, and I will literally show you the things. I'll literally show you the page right after of what I mean. So at number 5, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Yes, back-to-back WrestleMania 19 matches. And trust me, this isn't the last time that we are going to see The Rock. Definitely isn't. He's probably the man with the most matches in my top 10s. No doubt about it. Well, in this list at least. So it was just great. I mean, I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed watching it. I definitely thought it was the best matchup of the night with, of course, Angle and Lesnar taking second place in that. But I just enjoyed it. And with it being possibly Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match, who knows, with, maybe Mania tonight. I think that's when the KO show is supposed to happen. Or that's tomorrow. I forget. If it's on night 1 or night 2, I have to go back. I have to look to see when that is. But, and then add to the list of whatever night and just assume, okay, this is when the KO show is supposed to take place. We will just go from there. So we'll just do that. But if this is his last match, then what a banger of last match to go out on. So, I mean, The Rock took Austin's vest. We see The Rock do a stunner. We see Stone Cold do rock bottom. Rock did a rock bottom. Stone Cold did a stunner. People's elbow. Like, it was just great. The shocking kickouts. The Rock being like, yeah, like, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna end Stone Cold Steve Austin's career, which he did, but I mean, on top of that, he's never beaten Stone Cold Steve Austin one-on-one before. So to do it here at Mania, yeah, like that was big. So that's another reason why it's higher, because he finally got his one win over Austin that he needed. I mean, it was just a great match. I was even like, who the fuck's gonna win? I think like the second go around, like I remembered who won it, but as the matchup went on, I was like, who's gonna win it? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Rock won. But it was just great. And I know I just said for Taker versus Lesnar about the whole like me not seeing certain things, about feeling different things. Like that's different. Like that's me thinking like, yeah, I know who won, but I don't want that to happen. Like I had the mindset of that going on. It's just called, when I was watching the second go around, I think I just liked it more for Austin versus Rock, I guess, if that makes sense. If you know what I'm talking, yeah. I'm just gonna stop talking about that, but it's just Austin versus Rock. It's up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, it's up on the WWE YouTube channel. Go look it up. You will enjoy it. And yes, The Rock did take the W in that, and it was once again well deserved. Number 4, Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18. And we are not yet done with The Rock. The Rock, okay, it was a slow match at the beginning, I will say that much. But there were some moments where I really enjoyed it. And then as the match went on, the matchup progressed. It was like, oh wow, like, yeah. Um, like it was definitely well done. It was definitely well done. So yeah, I thought it was great. Like Rock Hogan leg drop body. I don't know. I can't remember if Hogan did a body slam or not. But one thing that I will complain about in this matchup, and the only thing that I will complain about in this match, was probably the count out spots. Like when the ref wasn't counting out. Like it was just why. Like I think we hit a 10 count 2 or 3 times when they were outside. So yeah. Man, I can actually breathe now. Holy shit, I haven't been able to all fucking morning. Like, no, I'm serious. I haven't been able to breathe all fucking morning. I tried everything. You name it. I have tried it. I couldn't fucking breathe at all. And then I started to watch Family Guy, and then I'm like, Jesus Christ, it hurts to laugh, but now I feel better. Now my allergies are clearing up. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, yeah. I mean, great matchup. If you want to go watch it, go back, watch it. It's not on YouTube. No, it is not. I looked it up. That motherfucker isn't on YouTube. Go to Google, go into videos, and look up Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Trust me, it is not on YouTube. Unless if WWE posted it today or tomorrow, it is not on YouTube. Why? I do not know. But it's not on YouTube. To go to Google and watch it from a fucking website that probably shows wrestling matches legally, maybe. I don't know. That's how I watch it. So, yeah, that's how I watch wrestling matches out on YouTube. I just go to possible 50% shot illegal websites that post things that they shouldn't. So, yeah, but I mean, it ended with a rock bottom and then a people's elbow. 1, 2, 3, Rock gets the win. They both shake hands at the end of the match. I mean, there was a belt whips and whatnot. Once again, as the matchup progressed, it got better. So half of it was kind of slow. The other half of it was pretty fast. But just for the fast parts and like Rock doing the rock bottom, Hogan kicked down and then he was just hulking up and it was like whoa, like so that's probably why it's up high, because like it's kind of boring, but at the same time it was boring enough where I was semi invested and I'm like, I need to watch it to add it to my list. But then as the matchup went on, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. So combine everything into one. That's why it's up so high. Number 3, we have John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 28 in a once-in-a-lifetime. Final Rock match. I promise you, the final Rock match. What can't I say about this match? It was great. I mean, the first time ever that Rock and Cena was facing each other was supposed to be the only time Rock and Cena was facing each other. But hey, shit happens. Because, fuck WWE's logic, apparently. Um, so... So yeah, I mean, Rock versus Cena was once in a lifetime. The way it happened, I think it should have stayed once in a lifetime. And I feel like, I mean, granted, the whole Rock Cena WrestleMania 29 match wouldn't have happened, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if that never happened, it wouldn't have never been on my list, and we could have HBK versus Kurt Angle here at Mania. Well, I mean, we could just replace the we could just replace John Cena with CM Punk. We could do that. We could if we wanted to. I don't fucking know. Maybe. I guess. Or we might just get. We could have gone John Cena versus who knows. at Mania. Like we could have just gone a triple threat match and just have St. Punk insert into that. Who knows what could have happened? Who knows what could have happened? I mean, for crying out loud, we could have seen Ryback versus The Rock at WrestleMania if Ryback won, because that could have been a possibility. But honestly, the once in a lifetime match was great. It should have never happened twice. But I mean, The Rock doing, I think like one rock bottom to defeat Cena. And honestly, that's fine. You want to have finishers strong. You want to have these guys look strong. I mean, Cena did an AA 1 to kick out by The Rock. And then Cena got cocky, went to go do like a people's elbow. Rock got him 1, 2, 3. The matchup's over. So yeah, so rock bottom. That was like probably one of his best rock bottoms yet. I mean, not his greatest rock bottom, but one of his best and definitely most memorable. I mean, it was even after the matchup that Cena was like, man, like, I lost and I couldn't have. Like, I mean, I shouldn't have or whatever. But I mean, just in general, this matchup was great. I mean, John Cena going after the abs or the ribs of The Rock whenever he was targeting him. So it was just great. Like, it was just phenomenal. I mean, especially with storytelling inside the match and the build up to it for one entire year. Keep that in mind, for one whole year, they built this match up and it lived up to be one of the greats, and they still show it. And I enjoy watching it every single time. I still remember being like, oh my god, The Rock beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Like, that shouldn't happen. That was literally me when I was a kid. So, yeah. At number 2, we have Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. Man, just what a fucking match. If you've seen, I'm not going to say too much about it. If you've seen the matchup, you know why it's up here. If you haven't seen the matchup, go and watch it and then you'll understand why. But if you want to watch this just so I can give you an explanation, here's my explanation. One of the greatest matches of all time. It's literally my third favorite match ever. Like, it literally is my third favorite match ever. I'll go back and I'll watch this sometimes and I'll be like, wow, like, this is great. And just from the clips I see and stuff, I'm like, these men lived up to the hype. Shawn Michaels kicked out of The Undertaker's Tombstone Piledriver. That was a big, shocking moment for everyone. And I'm glad that it went on later onto the show than it being the third matchup for 15 minutes. That was bad. So, yeah, like, that was just, that would have been bad, and we wouldn't have gotten that. I mean, it's just, once again, I'm not saying much about it. Missed elbow drop, but it was perfect. And then I think Undertaker caught Michaels in the middle of a moonsault. One Tombstone Piledriver, 1, 2, 3. And then the matchup was over, but they performed one hell of a match. And yes, the missed elbow drop was from The Undertaker, not Michaels. Yes, Undertaker went to the top rope, didn't know. It was this whole fucking thing. But Undertaker's streak, of course, continued. And it was just great. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And that leaves me off just with my number 1. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26, streak versus career. Why do I think it's better? Not only because, okay, you'll probably be thinking, why is it better? Because Shawn Michaels lost and the whole career thing. It's one of the reasons. Honestly, I just love the build up to the match, and I love the match itself. I enjoy watching the match. Like, I really do. Like, I enjoy watching the match more than I do with the WrestleMania 25 match. Besides from this year, yet, I have seen it once a year around WrestleMania season, or at least the day of WrestleMania. Oh, fuck, which reminds me, I have a WrestleMania book to read. Anyways, so, yeah. I watch it every year. I mean, that Tombstone Power Driver to the outside, that was awesome. The sweet chin music out of nowhere, Taker did that massive kick out. That was huge. I mean, well, yes, Taker did injure his knee, and that did screw up some of the match. And yes, that did screw up some moments of the match. I still think that even with an injury and you still do what you did, I think that that should at least push the match up higher on people's list. Like, it was just great. I mean, while yes, Shawn Michaels did miss the moonsault into the announce table, if you want to think about it in a better way, he moonsaulted onto his leg just to injure it more. You could literally book it like that because Shawn Michaels was even going after the Undertaker's leg to make it look like he was doing damage to it. So you could literally look at it like that. So, I mean, that's a plus side, but I mean, you know that's a screw up, but hey, I mean, you could think of it like that, but I mean, it wasn't like that. I'm not trying to think to myself, yeah, like that's another reason why it's better. It was just so many great things about this match. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's out on YouTube. I mean, just the final move as well. Leaping tombstone power driver after Shawn Michaels did the whole throat slash slap in the face like Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. And then Taker being pissed. Jumping tombstone power driver. 1, 2, 3. Matchup's over. Shawn Michaels' career is over. And it was just everything about it. Just everything about this match was just, it was great. So yeah, just if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, you might think that, like, some people might say it's better than Taker versus Michaels WrestleMania 25. Some people might say it's not. I'm one of the people that says that it is. But once again, not only for the whole Shawn Michaels thing, like, I just thought it was a great match. And once again, while yes, Taker did suffer a leg injury, just to still go on and perform a matchup that he did like that, I know I wouldn't have. I would have probably just been like, dude, hit me. Like, dude, I will hit you with chokeslam right now. And that was also one of the biggest chokeslams yet whenever you delivered it to Michaels. Like, there was just so much about this matchup that was great. I mean, moonsault to the outside, the dive, it was just, everything about it was great. So, yeah. Also, that is on my list. But once again, as you can see, fuck. As you can see what I mean, from number 10 to number 1, and plus the honorable mentions. I hope that was all in frame, maybe. Yeah. Like, that's literally my list. Like, I went from... Okay, here, hold on. So you can see I went from number 10, but I went down the list of WrestleMania matches from number 1 to... And on my list, like, at the top of it was the Boneyard match, and then I went, okay, just gonna go down the list, what's next, Taker versus Michaels, and then I kept scrolling up and up and up, and as I went up, and I looked down the matches, like, in the row that they were in, I just kept adding them to this, going up until I found number 10, because I didn't count, I just went to number 10, and then found this as number 11, so... that was what I did. That's how I did it. So yeah, so I'm just gonna get off. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Let me know what your all-time favorite WrestleMania matches. And I am gonna be doing my WrestleMania 38 predictions once this video gets uploaded. Thank you all for watching. Oh yeah, I am also gonna be watching NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver at 1. I'm not gonna do predictions for that. I don't even know what the matches are. I'm just gonna assume who's gonna win. Oh, I'll just give you my quick predictions. For the NXT Championship match, Braun Breaker. Sure. Anyways, make sure you subscribe, like, comment down below. Fun jazz. Peace.